everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So just want to address a few things. Yes, I know I've been like very inconsistent and not really uploaded on here. I've just had a lot going on personally, and sometimes it's just good to just take a break and just take a step back. I mean, I just do YouTube as a fun thing that I like doing. It's not my job, so it's kind of okay that I can just take a step back. Talking of jobs, my work has been very hectic lately, so yeah, I just took some time off, and to be honest, I didn't really have any motivation to film or create any content, and when you're just in that headspace, it's just really hard to get out of that. So yeah, that is why I haven't really uploaded or posted on Instagram or anything like that. But I'm just gonna get straight back into it like we normally do. So this is very random for me. I've never done anything like this before in my life. Guys, I have made notes. By the way, how cute is this from Tesco? It says you can never dream too big. I just thought that was so cute. And my friends Beth and Shell have this too because I got it for them. But yeah, I have made notes, so if I'm looking down, like, that is why. But yeah, so this video is very different for me. I've never done anything like this in my life. How it came about is I was talking about it with a girl at work, like before lockdown, like probably the very start of this year. We were just having a random conversation, and she was like, oh yeah, like I know someone that does like readings and stuff. She's amazing, I highly recommend. I'm like, yeah, like that really interests me. Like I've talked about this with my boyfriend's mum before, because she's like really into that as well. And I was like, you know what, I've always wanted to do it, why don't I just do it? So I got the lady's contact number. She was called Jackie, and I messaged her, and originally I booked an appointment back in March, but then I cancelled it because I was like, I don't have the money for this, so I cancelled it. And then I rebooked one, and I went, I think a week and a half ago, just under 2 weeks ago. And honest to God, I can't explain it. It was the best experience of my life, and I would highly recommend it to anyone. I know there are a lot of skeptical people. My boyfriend is one of them. He thinks it's a load of nonsense, absolute rubbish. But let me tell you, there were things that she knew that you couldn't find out of her social media. Like, there's just no way she'd know that. And I just think, oh my God, it was the most unreal experience of my life. It was just amazing. So I'm just going to explain it. So I went to this lady's house. It was at her house. It cost me £30, and it's usually about an hour reading, just over an hour. It's like a spiritual reading. But she said, to be honest, that's just the rate she charges, and if the reading is longer, the reading is longer. Like afterwards we were having a chat, and she was saying she actually done a reading for someone that was like 2 hours, just because there was like so much that needed to be said. So yeah, mine was like just over an hour. She tells you about your past, present and future. Obviously they can't tell you anything bad. I don't think they're allowed to. She didn't tell me anything bad, but oh my God, just some of the stuff she was saying. So she was like, right, how it works is I just need to hold something of yours, and then obviously like the spirits come in, and she just like, I can't explain it. It's like she can see them, but not. Bit weird, creepy, but it's just like she's interacting with them, and they're like telling them things and stuff. So she held my ring, plain old Pandora ring, nothing special. I wear this ring every day, all the time, and have for about 2-3 years. Same with this ring and these bracelets. Like, I don't really wear any other jewellery. This is all I wear. So she held this ring the whole time, and it's a really simple ring, nothing flash. She could have held anything of mine, and I just gave her the ring. Like, that's just what I gave her. And oh God, every time my nose runs. Sorry guys. Right, so she's like, right, have you got a woman in spirit? And I was like, yeah, like my mum's mum. Oh, by the way, I was only allowed to really say yes or no, because I know like some psychics and spiritualists go off what you're like saying, and that's like, it's a bit of a con, but I was only really allowed to say yes or no, so I really liked that. So firstly she was like, oh, do you have a woman in spirit? And I was like, yes, my nan, my mum's mum. She was like, right, she's going to her ears. And at the start of the reading I was like, doesn't mean anything to me. And then later, obviously, as the reading was going on, I was like, oh my gosh, like she was deaf, and I mean like really badly deaf, and any of my family watching this will just laugh, but she was hilariously deaf, and that's why I know she was doing that. Yeah, and literally the first thing she said was like, money's really a big thing for you right now. I swear on my life, before this reading I'd been really like stressing about my finances, because I was broke basically, and I was trying to manifest money. And that sounds ridiculous, but I actually was. And that's the first thing she said. She was like, money's a really big thing for you right now. And I was like, Jesus. Oh, by the way, before I carry on, there are some things she said that I'm just not going to say, just purely because they're quite personal, and they relate to people I know, and I don't want anyone I know watching this to get offended or anything, and also it's just quite personal to me, so there's some things I won't say, but I'll say the majority of stuff, just so we're clear on that. She was like, money's a really big thing for you, and I was like, oh my god, like, yeah. So she said, so she was talking about that. I can't even explain it, just some of the things she was saying. She was like talking how my nan would talk, and she was like, yes dear. And if any of my family watching this know my mum's mum and how she called everyone dear, like it was just unreal. She was talking about like traveling, and she was like, you really want to travel, like you've got this really passion, like you just want to travel. She was like, have you drawn like a map? I'm being told you've drawn a map. Now guys, I'm going to take a photo of it right now. You can see I'm on my phone looking at my wall. Right guys, look at this. I don't know if you can see. Oh, I don't know if the camera will. Oh, it's not gonna. Guys, if only you could see. On this bit of paper, look, you can faintly see there, right? On this bit of paper, I swear on my life, is a map I've drawn of Australia. How on earth could she have known that? She was like, you've drawn a map. It's on my bedroom wall, right there. I'm looking at it right now, like it's just unreal. She was like, you really want to travel? She was like, in the future I can see 3 big trips lined up for you, and each one's going to be longer, and eventually like at some point you'll live abroad. I was like, oh, interesting. She was just saying all these things. She was like, you're thinking of buying a house, aren't you? And I was like, yes. Me and my boyfriend want to buy a house at the start of next year. She was like, right, see, it's going to be 3 bedrooms. I was like, lovely. She was like, it's going to be a new build though. And I was like, no, like I don't want new build. And she was like, no, it's going to be a new build. So I guess we'll have to see on that one. She was also like, April's going to be a really big month for you next year. Again, we'll have to wait and see. And then she was like, oh, somebody else has come in. Have you got a man in spirit? I was like, yeah, my granddad, my dad's dad. She was just saying all these things, and she was like, right, he just wants to prove that this is real and he is who he is. She was like, have you got a white bear that you've had for years and years and years? Literally, guys, this is popcorn. I've had him since I was 6, and my granddad died when I was like 9. He was like, she was like, he just wants to prove that this is real, he is who he is. And I was like nobody else would know that. Like, it's just unreal. She was saying all these random things. She was like, did he used to have turtles? And when I got home, I asked my dad about it, and he was like, yeah, like he did. She was saying all this stuff. She was like, just tell your dad, like, he's on track to retire for the age he wants to retire. I was like, okay. She was like, don't worry, nothing bad's going to happen, but just let him know he's on track to retire. She was just saying all these stuff. She was like, and then she was like, does somebody you know work with children? Guys, my younger sister works in a nursery with children. That is her full-time job. She's like a nursery assistant, nursery nurse type thing. And I like, how would you know that? Just how? Just absolutely unreal. She was then talking about my boyfriend, and she was like, he's very laid back, isn't he? For anyone that's met my boyfriend John knows that we're like complete opposites. He's the most laid back person you'll ever meet. Like, really laid back. And she was like, you'll be together like forever, you're a perfect match, but you're very stubborn, aren't you? And I was like, yep. And if my boyfriend watching this right now will 100% agree, that's like my downfall. I'm very stubborn. She was like, you need to let that go, like sometimes you've just got to compromise. She was like, he's very laid back, isn't he? But he's very smart, like doesn't realise how clever he is. Again, anyone who knows John, he's so intelligent. She was like, he works with his hands, doesn't he? Yeah, he works in a hospital, in a pharmacy. She was like, but he's very good like at design and things like that. I was like, what? He went to uni to do art for a year. He's an amazing drawer. She was like, he's good at design and things like that. And eventually like his job will make you go abroad to work. I was like, interesting. She was also like, you're a bit obsessed about weddings. Yes, my friends will completely agree. She was like, he wants something very simple and you want something very extravagant. And I was like, yes. She was like, you need to compromise. And I was like, damn it. I've written all these notes. Some of it was so personal. I just can't get over this experience. And I was just sitting in her front room and she was just like saying all this stuff to me. And it was like, literally like, just over an hour. It was the best experience of my life and I highly recommend it to anyone. Obviously she did say a lot more than that. She said like a lot more personal things, but I'm just not going to share them because it's not really fair on the people that it's about. So yeah, guys, it was unreal. And I can't recommend her enough. Like, honestly. I did ask, like, how often can you have a reading? And she was like, I don't recommend it for a long time. Like, not less than a year. And I was like, fine. To be honest, I wouldn't go back for a long while. Like, probably like a few years' time. And I want to see if any of this, like, stuff she told me in the future is real. I mean, even if it's not, and this is all a load of hocus pocus. Firstly, there was stuff that I don't know how she knew, so I 100% believe that. But like, even like the stuff in the future, even if that doesn't come true, it's not real, it's 100% made me like more motivated to want that to happen. So regardless, yeah, it was really good. I'm so glad I went. It was amazing. I highly recommend. It was the best experience I've ever done. And for those of you that do believe in this, I would highly recommend, send me a message and I'll send you her details, because she was unreal. And for those of you that don't, that are very skeptic, like, doesn't bother me. I did something I wanted to do and I really enjoyed it, and that's that. So see you later. I don't have another response. Like, my boyfriend thinks it's hocus pocus and I'm like, yeah, like, I wanted to do it, so I done it. And I don't talk to him about it, I talk to his mum about it, so that's that, yeah. But yeah, guys, I highly recommend. That was my experience of a psychic reading. Unreal. Unreal. Anyway, that was a quick story time. Hope you all enjoyed this video. Give it a massive thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye. Bye.